let this get started and come back, and hopefully before too long we'll have some fun content for you. Okay, let's move over to the match screen. You're ready to do this, right? Just wait for this challenge to come in, and once my good buddy here challenges me, we'll be playing this game. As always, you're listening to Harris Heller's mix. I can give you guys a link to that as well. And there's a link. Oh wow, I gotta add that link, don't I? I guess we'll go ahead and do that right now. So you guys have a link to tonight's music there. Just copy the playlist and add a command for you. Ooh, not here though, timers. And there it is, okay. Cool, so now if I type Spotify, we should have that message coming out for you guys. There it is. Cool, so if you're interested in the playlist or want it for your own stream, welcome to check that out. And yeah, so just this one tonight. It's about an hour long, and I might repeat a little bit during these longer games, but a little bit more mellow music, so I figure that's kind of good. And then I might not be talking as much through a lot of the games, or games I should say, and I won't be reading the chat either. You see messages about that, so I won't be reading any of the chat right now. I can always check it out afterwards as I watch the VOD later on to see how things went, but in terms of actually looking at that, it won't be. This content will go directly to YouTube, and hopefully if you're watching on YouTube, you're enjoying the show. So I don't expect to win these games at all tonight, but through losing these games, I do fully anticipate losing to my good buddy here. I should get some really good content to learn from, and then 2 months from now, I'll be playing him again. So we're going to start doing like a bi-monthly match against each other. So we'll have 2 games tonight, and then 2 months from now, we'll have another 2 games. Similar to what I've been doing with FM Nichols as well, but Nichols is monthly, right? So we'll have NM Nichols monthly, and FM Homa will be bi-monthly. So just so you guys know, and I'll let you guys know, I guess probably during the stream when that happens, I no longer have any social presence for the stream. Too too many things are going on that were outside my control. So we'll just have you guys check it out on the VOD, and also always on YouTube. So make sure you guys check that out. And if you want to interact with me, feel free to leave comments in the chat. So the comments on YouTube, you guys can leave comments there. I can read those as they come in. I'll get notified and such. And if I want to respond, I will. So hopefully you guys enjoy talking to each other today, and enjoy these wonderful games with a very good friend of mine, and someone who has who's always given me a very, very good game. I have beat him in over the board before, but it's been very challenging. Pull this back a little bit. Wow, my mic is way up. Not sure if you guys got a lot of interference from that or like bad sound, but hopefully now it's a little bit better sound-wise. That was like really kicking. And you should barely be able to hear me as well, but like I said, I'll check that out later. Not really important. We've moved to a pure chess stream, so no longer doing the interactions with the chat and things that distract from the game that is chess. If you watch other streams, a lot of the comments, cats, dogs, family, whatever, that's not what we're here for. We're here for chess, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoy the show. And make sure you check it out on YouTube as well if you want to, interact with me or whatever. So be happy to chat there. Okay, no challenge yet from my friend, but as soon as it comes in, I will go ahead and accept that challenge and we'll be going. So I guess I'll message him too. I did talk to him earlier tonight, so I know we're all set for 8 o'clock Eastern time to have this match. So should be fun. And again, it's on chess.com tonight. I haven't switched platforms. I just love both platforms. Chess and chess.com, both wonderful places to play chess. I have a lifetime membership on both websites, so why not play on both? I mean, they are two of the best, right? So if not the best, they're close to it, right? Maybe ICC also. I should give a mention to them too, that Internet Chess Club. That's awfully good. I have considered joining that. I'm not sure if you can stream ICC content. If you guys want to, beneath the YouTube video, if you guys want to let me know if you can stream ICC content, I'd be interested to know about that. No one that I know of is streaming their stuff, but it could be fun to get an account there and maybe establish a rating there and have that as part of like the stream content, or also YouTube content, right? So, but yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. The games against this guy, he is just so sharp and very, I don't know how to say it. Like, he lays a lot of traps, but they aren't like traps like a beginner would lay traps. They're like traps like best move traps, like where even with excellent play and excellent understanding, you can literally talk yourself into through like thoughtful processes of chess, walking right into these traps, because visually it looks like it's going to win you material, but after you go into the sequence of moves that was your combination, you see the point, which is actually maybe his counterplay. So it's really neat. It makes the games very, very hard to play, because even if he did blunder or make a mistake, I would probably find myself hesitating to exploit that, really trying hard to see if there's like a check on the side with a queen or something, some way to offset what's going on there. Really, really strong player. Just the utmost respect for Seth Homa in his game. And it's always been like that since he joined the Lansing Chess Club. When he was like 13, he was really young when he first came. And I remember playing against him and thinking, man, this kid's pretty good. And then, of course, now I think he's either the Michigan #1 or right up there with them. He's like really, really high in our state for players and ratings. So it's been quite a fortunate thing for me to have him as a friend. And we did coach together, too. When I went to coach with GM Ben Feingold, Homa was one of my friends. And so we'd actually travel to that camp in Ann Arbor together. He and I are both more in like the Lansing area, greater Lansing area. And then that allowed us to travel together to save, money, just because, it's a long trip, hour and a half every day back and forth for a week. It was nice to have him to do that with. So yeah, should be kind of cool what's going on tonight. Just different opportunity, I guess. And obviously the stream needed to change content. So if you can't do some of the stuff we used to do, we can create new stuff, right? And have more fun together, hopefully. And maybe even give you guys more of a reason to enjoy the stream or come by, and granted, many of you can't chat anymore, but it's for the greater good of the stream. So you're welcome to sub if you want to chat, but you definitely don't have to. Like I said, you can interact with me on YouTube. There's the ways to get a hold of me, I guess, if you really are looking to reach out. But I've definitely limited that a bit recently. So hopefully you guys enjoy the stream. So, man, I'm excited. I just want this challenge to come in. Maybe I need to go to games to see this. I'm not sure, but I'll head over here and just see if, it should pop up on the bottom, I think so. You know what? I got to turn challenges on. That's hilarious. I turned them off. I just remembered I did that, yeah. I should probably have that setting turned on. Allow, okay, I do have challenges on, okay, good. I must be thinking of lead chess. So on lead chess, you guys won't be able to challenge me, which I think is a good idea, so let's see here. Okay, so I got to block real quick. Yeah, if any challenges I receive from anyone will be instant blocks, so if you challenge me at chess, you'll forever be blocked, and then you'll have no access on the site, so thank you for helping me know who to block there. Okay, and anyway, we'll now wait for this challenge the actual person I want to play. Oh yeah, that's actually in the stream too. I could actually notify you guys of that. I forgot that I hadn't given that in the stream, so that could have led to the confusion there. There you go. So now you guys know. Ah, man, I'm so excited. It's like a little kid at Christmas, you know what I mean? Like you wait your whole life to have chances to play like GMs, FMs, IMs, NMs, and then you get those opportunities and you want to take them seriously. So that should be good. Just wait another moment or a little while here, and I'm gonna guess in roughly like 4 to 5 minutes I'll get this challenge. So that'll be good. Yep. Let's try to get relaxed. That's a good thing too for your own games. You know, if you can calm down a little bit and just kind of relax when you play the game, it does help you do a little bit better. Like, just kind of forget about past losses, forget about maybe things that are troubling you throughout the day, and just get into that wonderful game, that wonderful escape that is chess. You know, it's if you find this game, it's one of the best things for you. I mean, it's just it mixes so many of the talents and skills and abilities that we can have as humans. I mean, creativity, you know, mathematical knowledge, just pattern recognition. It's just such a beautiful game, and it's really kind of special that Twitch allows us to share this with one another. So hopefully you guys enjoy the show and the games. Also, this Harris Heller mix is getting pretty good. Starting to grow on me pretty quickly. Probably partly because I watch Harris Heller's stuff. You know, I really enjoy his stream a lot. And if you're a streamer and you're having trouble with your stream, you're having trouble with something on your stream, there's going to be a Harris Heller video to help you out with all kinds of stuff, like technical issues, personal issues, things that are going on in the stream, a way to grow the stream, way to engage people, way to have fun. He's got lots and lots and lots of really good ideas for you. YouTube ideas, like, I mean, he's, if you're looking to grow your stream and make it better, he's definitely somebody you want to check out. So, and of course the link to his playlist will be in the video on YouTube as well. Partly just to help myself know that I'm covered. If there is like some kind of copyright claim or something, I can just, you know, have that reference right there in the title of my video and just say, you know, yes, I will copyright, you know, fight this strike against my thing, because I know that the music provided by him is in fact copyright free. The prior list I had did not have the similar backing that we have with Harris Heller, so make sure you guys are finding these trusted playlists if you're going to play music, so you're not having those extra worries while you're streaming. And that was kind of a worry. I lost a lot of content. As a content creator, you know, you live in that stuff, so all right, this is so funny. They literally just show you who to ban. I'm wondering too if maybe people don't have access to the stream, so they don't know about this, but really it'll just be just so simple, I guess, to do that. But I may just change my layout too in the future, not have challenges show up. My video should be right over it though when we switch views. Oh, and also, I didn't know about this. Have you guys ever gone to like, I'm trying to think of a big streamer that does this. Maybe Gotham Chess might, I'm not sure if he does actually. But you go to like a streamer's page, and you want to be able to whisper them, but you'll go to whisper and it'll say something like, this player does not take messages from people that aren't friends or something of that nature. I figured out where that setting was, so wonderful thing you can do to really limit the interaction people have with you if you're starting to maybe have like more people than you could possibly message back right to you. Really good idea. So if you reach a point where, you know, maybe it's getting a little bit overwhelming to respond to the messages and you really just want to be talking to your friends and such, then that's a really good way to to really like pull back so you can actually respond to the people that need responses from you and not have like an overwhelming amount of like, wait, what is this? And what do I even say to this? Like, so that's really helped me out a lot as well. And that's all documented. And then, yeah, so good stuff. 11,467,777 games today. Man, chess.com has a lot of games going on. 324,274 games in play right now. That's a lot of games. It's like hard to, you got to double those numbers, right? So for every game you have 2 players, so it's like 22 million, or actually I guess 23 million games, like 23 million games today. Wow. You want to talk about a body of work to check out later, right? All right, so we got a message coming in here, so cool. And my buddy's making me laugh. Oh man, the smack talk is real. So I mentioned to him, I go, hey, I like the games to be casual, not rated, but casual games, and he goes, casual means unrated, yes? ? Because there will be nothing casual about the moves I play against you. Because he is very strong. In fact, I've actually gone to him for coaching before because he is a very talented chess player and coach, actually. So, great guy. And he tells me about 10 minutes on the challenge, so that's cool. So we're looking closer to 8 o'clock on the challenge, which is fine. Very nice of him. And if you're going to play me, if somehow we talk about doing an event together, definitely this kind of messaging and letting me know a time frame is very helpful. So, oh man, I'm so happy tonight. This is going to be great, and it feels like everything's kind of coming together in a really good way right now. So, just good stuff. Hopefully, you guys really enjoy this. It's so funny because you just learn so much from streaming, I guess. I don't know. It's definitely one of the better things you can ever do, though. If you guys have a chance, definitely stream. If you can stream. If you have, even if you just have a microphone, most computers have a built-in mic somewhere. Maybe at first you just use that, or maybe just chat with people. Don't even have a video. Don't even have your words. Just share your screen through OBS Studio and stream and share this wonderful game. You can chat with your viewers if you'd like, and or you can take my approach too and say, you know what, I'm a content creator. I think I'm gonna start creating content, and maybe not be arguing with people in the chat or having that distraction from the game going on. So, yeah, that'll be very helpful, right? There's so many settings on here. Has anybody ever mastered chess.com in terms of everything you can do? There sure is a lot. One of the better sites, I guess, for having control and being able to do stuff, right? It's definitely one of my favorite places to play recently. It's nice too because for the longer games we're getting a lot faster. The pairings are a lot faster, right? We're not waiting as long, so that's been really good. Show his page again as we wait. Close that. All right. So. Water is really nice too. I always try to have water when I'm playing chess, especially if you guys have done over the board chess. You guys know that like water is so important there. Another good tip. Make sure you're hydrating and keeping your energy level up. Water is pretty energizing actually, surprisingly so. And those tournaments get really long, 90-minute games or whatever time control you're playing. I guess it can get very, very long, right? And then if you have multiple rounds of a tournament in a day, it's even harder. Just checking a couple emails real quick that just came in, and cool. Looks like a couple people found me here, which is nice, so good. Nice stuff. A few more minutes, challenge should come in, and game one will start happening, right? I tried purposely not to not select any openings for today. I do have several openings I've been playing recently, but I wanted to keep my mind more clear, look at the board, and actually, like, based on every move, kind of think about what I want to do based on that move that I see. So we'll see how that goes. I feel fortunate that he's playing against me, actually. He doesn't have that many online games that he's played in the time he's had. They kind of always had the count like a really long time, and so it's kind of nice I actually get a game against him. He puts a lot of time into studying, though. In fact, his puzzles are like, what, almost 4 times his games. So 4 times as many puzzles as games that he's played. How many people have that ratio, you know? So. It's nice. I guess you can say like what's it called? Challenges from friends only, and then only your friends can challenge you. That's been really nice. That's a nice setting to get in place. I didn't even know that existed. That's kind of nice. Challenges from friends only. So if you're on chess.com and you only want to play against your friends, wonderful option for you. Make sure you check that out. Four monitors is nice when you stream too, like any number of extra monitors, just so you can be able to control your content, what you're showing versus what you're changing. Like it's really nice. Like it's been very helpful for me. If there's a layout issue, kind of check it out a little bit easier. I guess I could wait a little closer to 8 to start streaming for you guys. Sorry about the wait, I guess. But it's also nice to let people show up, I mean, if they want to watch, right? So. I'm going to chess.com view and just change this just a little bit before I stream here. Let's see. Let's move some stuff around. And the logo. Maybe up just a little bit. A few ticks. Down a slight bit. There we go. That looks pretty good. And then that way, if anybody is challenging me or things happen during the stream that are unexpected with that, there'll be nothing at all to indicate that. So cool. And back to the website as we wait to stream. So. Cool. Challenge is coming in. Nice. All right. So then we go to the game, guys. And good luck to my friend. I guess I've got the white pieces in this one, so go with F4. And I'm gonna go ahead and minimize OBS so I'm not looking at that, and see you guys later. Interesting that he chose D4 right away. Now, as you guys know, my NM friend is gonna play E5 right away, so. I don't have to play so fast either. We've got a lot of time here, so against him, I should definitely take the time and actually think about, you know, move order and those types of things. Oh, and I was going to say too, if you're thinking about playing the bird, let me get these books here. You should definitely consider getting this book. Cyrus Lukdawala, very, very, very nice author, and this bird's opening book, really good. I've only read like the first maybe chapter or two of it. I've got a lot more to go, but definitely enjoyed his style of teaching in the books and such that he has. So remember yesterday I mentioned on stream that like this plan and even the move like G6 with it and D5 all being one of the stronger ways to play against the bird. In fact, if you go through like ChessBase's Mega Base 2020, you're going to see this type of formation against this quite a bit with those stronger players. So definitely check that out. I'm taking a bit longer than I normally do just to consider like moves that he's. It seems odd to be thinking so early with this, but he's very, like I said, he's very sharp, and inaccuracies will be punished greatly. And you know, when you reach the FM or GM level, it's no longer a matter of like, you know, winning because your opponent made some blunder. It's winning because they made improper move order, and you know how to exploit it. You know, they know how to take advantage of those mistakes, those subtle things that you do in the position. Let's see. I think in this situation I should maybe play the bishop here. Oh, there's lots of information on this game. I never noticed that before, but I guess they have, I don't know if it's like a, I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it's got this information here on the side. I should look at what these things mean. I've never noticed that before. It'd be nice if I had like a goth girl or somebody to be like a lifeline here. Be like, hey, so I'm playing the bird, and I was wondering, is this move possible? And she'd probably help me out a little bit. She plays it so well. Try not to feel nervous, but just playing a very strong player, usually you do at some level. Like it's just hard to not have some level of like nerves, I guess, playing a very strong player. And you guys have seen me also on stream recently. The bird hasn't exactly always been scoring that well for me. Definitely had some challenging games, so it's probably got me thinking a bit too. Maybe I should just agreed to one game tonight. I feel myself already getting pretty tired as I play through this. Like this is gonna be grueling. When this is over, I'm gonna want a slight break, and then I probably, since I am streaming right now, I'll probably break it up into 2 bits. So I'll finish these 2 games, have that be one stream, begin that process of uploading this to YouTube, and then immediately following that upload, I'll be coming back on stream, as I normally would. I'm just laughing because, like, you guys watch me play Blitz all the time, and the games are always so fast, and my move selection always so quick. And then there's this game where it's like every move just feels like another opportunity to lose the game. So I'm not looking at it like, oh, I can win material, or I can do something really great. I'm looking at it like, I must play carefully so I don't make a blunder or miss some idea in the position. Intermezzos are huge too. With anytime you're playing like a very strong player, the idea of like a capture and you expect like a recapture, but then they don't recapture, they make some other move that gets you like on guard. You can expect that stuff a lot when you're playing very strong players. So I'm kind of having thoughts of that right now. Like, do I have time to do this idea? Does Black respond to this, or do they like do their own thing? You know, that kind of stuff. So Just thinking a little bit here as I consider what to do with this pawn advancing to d4. And it's like you can feel and see where they want their pieces to go. So for example, one thing I continually think about is this, the knight going to d5 or g4, a little bit harder to get there right now, and then landing on e3, you know, so that thought of a knight being on e3, and not even just because of the fork, but because of the power of a knight on your third rank. Like, it's their sixth rank, but you're third. That's really hard. It's a piece that you'll oftentimes find yourself like wanting to give anything for, like give a rook, a queen, maybe not a queen, I guess, but a rook. You're definitely willing to give the exchange a lot of times to get rid of that piece. And of course, in this exact situation, you don't just get rid of the piece, you actually open up this diagonal for the bishop. So it's a very serious threat. It's not something that should be like looked at as like, well, who cares? You know, it's like, no, that's serious stuff, you know? And so I'm considering ideas of like knight takes knight and then e4, you know, because if I was to capture here and then play e4, I'd be controlling this square, but I only control it for now. So what that means is like after f5, possible move later on, hitting my pawn here, maybe I find myself going forward or the pawns get moved, and somehow maybe the square becomes available in the future, and anytime that it becomes available, anytime any square that takes you into this becomes available, then black will be doing quite well to have access to that. And also, even just having the center and stuff open up, he's extremely strong with his bishop. So, but it doesn't mean the position has to open for him to win. He can play well in closed positions as well, very positional. He's like, that's what makes this guy so strong. He's not limited by, I play tactically, I play, you know, he does positional, he does tactical. He's got that full chess body of work under him, and it makes it extremely hard to play against him. And every move, every square on the board is something he considers. He's very good at thoughtful chess, so he'll look at those sacrifices to get a passed pawn that wins the game. Like, he's not, or even here, there might be ideas too, maybe in the future, like knight takes pawn, and you're like, well, how would that be possible? Well, I take back, push to d3, attacks this bishop, and maybe at the same time this guy's being attacked, and you're like, well, go ahead and take here. But because it's a pawn, when it captures, it attacks my queen and my rook, so even though I want to save this, I can't save it because it's a pawn attacking me. All those kind of ideas need to be considered in playing somebody this strong. Like, it's not, chess is no longer the easy fun game it is in Blitz. Like, it's like this true battle, you know? And so you really need to like look at everything and then say, like, you know, why am I making this move and what am I allowing? Not what am I going to control, but what am I no longer going to control? Like, when this pawn moves, no longer has influence on these squares, right? So there's weaknesses there, and there's a square to invade on, like I'm saying. So that's why the think right now. Just trying to think about, you know, not finding myself in some horrible situation here after whatever I decide to do, right? So that's what I'm fighting with. And even if I saddle black with like a pawn here, like pawn, maybe knight takes, just have the pawn there, it might seem good at first, but it actually is helping to make this a backward pawn, where this pawn's somehow fighting and giving control over that square. And again, this knight with a similar idea, possibly landing there, or rerouting to land there. So just lots and lots to think about here. d4 seems like a strong move to me, I guess, because, like I said, capturing, and the knight maybe captures, and then that, of course, is going to be trying to get a bishop. Like, you're going to get the bishop pair with a move like that, or could, and then capturing here and pushing e4 is another idea that I've been thinking about for quite a while. Just understanding that it's not like that just like solves everything instantly. There's, you know, b5's threatened. I can't play a4 to hold it back anymore because I have to spend time on this pawn. Pawn doesn't really threaten anything. In fact, if I was to push that pawn twice, that's where I give the square. So it's nice to have it on e4, but it's kind of more of just like I'm controlling d5 a little bit, maybe limiting the scope of that bishop on c6 for a moment, but because the bishop's probably going to recapture if I capture there. But I'm just thinking, like I said, about what I want to do. I have plenty of time too, so I can spend it here and think about what I want to do. I could also take the bishop pair. That's another idea. I mean, my opponent's playing for the bishop pair, so that is something I could try for. Maybe I'll do that. I'll play for the bishop pair, I guess. After all that, right? An hour and a half thought process there. Yes, like tuna. That was like a 4-minute move on like move 10. I know. And I've talked about this with other players before, but this is also a 25-minute game, so a little bit longer game going on. And we've also got the 5-second increment, so I can make my next move quickly, which I think I will, and that should help out with the time stuff. I guess it's encouraging that we didn't see an instant move out of my opponent. You know, of course, when you make a mistake and they know exactly what they want to do against it, tend to move a little bit more quickly. But if you make a move that maybe they consider to be more accurate or good, then you might see them pause or hesitate just like I was doing, the same kind of thought process. Like what piece, I'm sure that's what my opponent's thinking right now, like what piece should recapture? Also looking at the board for, is there anything else I could do first? You know, is it possible to take here? Is somehow having the pawn there, a passed pawn, is there hope of that thing maybe queening through some really cool play, or a quick attack on my king with some squares around him going away, you know? So that's the difference between like a very strong player with chess and just someone who just like casually plays or enjoys playing the game. The strong player is going to take a lot more time to look at all of this evaluation, all of these different, you know, pawn structures and piece placement, and then based on those decisions, then finally make the move that they think supports what they believe will give them a chance at an advantage in the future. Especially in the opening, that's what we're looking for, a chance at an advantage. Doesn't necessarily mean you have the advantage right now, but there's like maybe more opportunity for your opponent to go wrong. And as you guys know, if you've really like studied chess with computers or things like that, it's really hard to play the right moves in some positions. And this game, I think, is going to have some of that. There might be like a moment when I have like, you know, one move, and one move is the difference between a draw and like a really bad loss, right? It's just that not seeing that one thing. So, and I think my opponent feels the same way. Wants to play kind of carefully, and same kind of thought. So, okay, so like once this guy goes, it is nice for controlling light squares. I'll have excellent light square control, but dark squares begin to get quite weak. So I'm actually expecting after this to see e5. That's the move I think I would expect. Doesn't mean it has to get played, but just trying to make that bishop. Bishop's a bit bad with all these pawns on dark squares and opening up that a little bit. But you also have ideas, like I said, of routing over here and getting in, assuming I don't control. So I was gonna play this. The deal is, I guess, just get to my next move. Probably do similar things in my rapid games with you guys that I'm doing right now. You know, in the rapid games, I tend to just kind of make faster moves, but they are 10-minute games, and I use hardly any of that time usually. So maybe I should slow down a little bit, start making it more like this, a bit more thoughtful game as I play. And thanks for anybody that I'm not sure. I guess I can look up there. Yeah, there's people here. Cool. I didn't know if people would come back with the newest ideas I've got. Mostly now I see my Twitch channel as an opportunity to maybe grow YouTube, just based on some of the challenges I've been facing on Twitch. Seems like that platform may have some issues that I can't fix, but certainly Twitch could fix them. And of course the community as well could work to fix it as well. You know, be better, do better, people. And then you'll make Twitch a nice home for everybody. But until that happens, this guy is going to be finding a wonderful chance for YouTube again. And if you guys haven't seen my old YouTube, I've got some amazing YouTube stuff out there from years ago. In fact, all of my old stream and everything was based on YouTube. So I'll get some of those links out to you guys too, if you're interested in checking it out, the blog spot and such. I really put a lot of time into that. So And then I heard about Twitch and I'm like, wait, what? I was like, this seems like a much faster way to share. In fact, my blog, although just a very small blog spot, has like 21,898 page loads, so people have checked this out. You're welcome to check that out as well. And it's got my tournament games. There's some videos of my tournament games in the past on YouTube and such, so feel free to check that out. All right, and then back into this, make sure we're on the right screen for matches, and good stuff. Kind of interesting game too, because I have both bishops, but somehow they don't really have a lot of life, right? Like this bishop has what, 1 square in each direction, so it's a pretty limited bishop. And then this guy's just eating off into space, right? There's really nothing for him either. So both bishops just not really finding any happy squares. Those are my choices with bishops. That's where my bishops can move right now. Not counting, of course, the sacrifice here. But bishop c3 not much better, right? So. Probably worse. All right, be right back. Assuming it's my turn now, so. Alright, so the queen has gone to c7. Eyeing my f4 pawn, but probably a lot of other ideas as well. She's very active. She can a5 is available to help support c5, or maybe a c4 push later on. So. And also, it kind of takes away some ideas, right? If I was going to play like a4 and a5, well, that's not happening now because you got two pieces attacking that, or guarding that square, right? So attacking, guarding, however we look at that. And like normally in a lot of games I'd be playing a4 pretty quickly, like a blitz game or something, to control b5. But I do notice, like, once this knight comes in here, I've really got to be you know, looking after this pawn for quite a while. Like the knight was here. Whereas if I played a3, I'd control that square. But a3 kind of invites black to really expand on the queen side. unopposed, right? Knight, knight. Alright, I'm still going to play a4. I'm still thinking that's probably the right or good plan to have. So we'll see. What would be really nice is to actually use these games with him. Maybe hire him as my coach again. I've done lessons with him in the past. Hire him as my coach and go back over the game. Talk to him about these very thoughts I'm having during this game. Maybe even open up the video on YouTube and say, hey, you know, Seth, during the game, these are some thoughts I was having here as I'm communicating. You know, what do you do to make these kind of decisions? What are some things I can think about that'll help me with that type of decision making on the pawn move there? Is it, you know, is it the prophylactics of holding this knight out that's important, or is it, you know, the idea of being more active with my pieces and giving my knight a square on a3 to help support c2, which was part of my thought process there. I can get out here and guard this guy, you know, so it's all those kind of things. You know, what's the piece that I'm missing? There's usually something. There has to be something, right? The reason why you're not the rating you want to have or the skill level you want to be. But if you can identify those weaknesses in your game and those things that you're thinking about that you shouldn't be, or the things that you maybe are thinking about that you shouldn't be. So it's like the things you're missing and you're not thinking about, and things you are thinking about that you shouldn't be thinking about both sides of that, not good, right? So, and I think I should be careful here too to not have the knight or the queen occupy d2. I think a piece on d2 is going to allow bishop out and e5, with the idea of having the piece behind it be a target or somehow like I'm just saying, it's just to be careful, right? So okay, so it looks like we're ready to launch some pawns here. I still think e5 is the way the pawn launch will go, but and I think I'm going to make this move. I think I'm going to put the knight out here, covering c2, allowing the rook access to the king side. Yeah, so, and he covers the b4 square, b5 square immediately. So b4, b5, right? So, all right. And I'm considering queen movement now, but you just don't want to do it at the wrong time, you know? Send your queen somewhere where maybe she's going to be harassable or not have the impact that you're hoping for her to have. So, but yeah, I'm going to send her over just queen to e1. So, a move I've seen Goth Girl do much earlier in the game so many times, right? Her and her wonderful kingside attacks. I wish I could see the sacrificial ideas that she's had in those games. It's really very eye-opening, the bird games we played together. And that's another thing too, I've got those games, I've downloaded them from Lee Chess, put them in Chessbase. So taking the games with Goth Girl, all of them, and looking through that collection set of all the things I've tried against it, and the way that she beat those lines, that'd be very useful for myself as I try to get better at this bird opening. Which has definitely been a challenge. I mean, there's definitely no easy in the bird, so. Another thing you can look at too is your opponent's time. So he's enjoying about a full minute more than me on time. And that's something else. As you get stronger at chess, you begin to notice those things more. Now this I had considered. But once I push her, which I'm very much so thinking I'm going to be doing that, there might be some leverage over here trying to open up the outside, but I wanted to have pieces that were like fighting against all of these. We might even see like an instant sack once I do that, just taking the pawns for activity. But I'm really thinking I want to do this and not allow e5 and everything kind of comes to life. And also even just taking seems like it's going to do that too. So I'm going to play this move. And like I said, we could see a sack almost immediately with the idea of some kind of really fast attack, right? And maybe I'm just not quite in time to get my pieces on squares to help support that far-reaching e5 pawn, right? So maybe some ideas here, because he's not one to really play passively in position. So anyway, that's one thing that comes to mind. But not necessarily necessary to, push that hard right now, right? Patient moves are also there, so we'll see what Seth does here. Expect that, but is possible. So knight guard c2 already. Bishop f3 was my next choice on this. And it also allows more pieces to come up and help out with this pawn as well. Maybe allowing my knight to go forward at some point in the future because the pawn would be protected by something else. And also this move because I want to control d5 against the knight wanting to come in, right? So, but I think now we could see this. Introducing another piece, trying to help out with d5 and or even e6, again creating a square. Because again, the thing that he's done is he's created this square for the knight. We talked about that before, how important that square was. But I now have this square, and I'm not sure how great that is for me actually though, but I do have that one. Oh, I don't know if I should do it or not, but I do see that I could play this move and take this pawn and have that knight hanging behind it. So I'm going to think about that briefly. I mean, it is giving up a bishop, but my bishop's relatively inactive, and that knight coming to d5 is like, a good piece. I think I'm gonna do that actually. I like the idea of trying to play something concrete, and obviously he can take and open up the c file as well. But again, that knight was heading to a very, very nasty square. So I guess I like this. And we could just see a counter sack. I mean, it's easy to do. Just sack on d3 or sack here, as is done, right? And now just a moment, right? Because you want to take this, but when? And do you have time to save it? And I believe I do, but you want to make sure you're like looking at stuff carefully. So I'm going to take that, and then queen up, would be an option to help save the knight. So, or actually maybe queen here, guarding this pawn, and then the knight guards that pawn. So, like if the queen's going to lift into, oh, she can't lift into there, can she? I don't know. I should just take a moment here and be careful, I guess. But I do enjoy a pawn for the moment, I guess. I should be doing this more in my other games, like I said. Not only just the thought process, but like talking through it a little bit with you guys. And I feel like, in a lot of games I played in Blitz, I've missed moves like this because I haven't looked for them. I've just been, in Blitz you're moving so quickly, you're not really thinking about that, like, what should I do here? What's the next move? And anyway. This is the time I feel the most nervous in any game against a strong player. The moment that you try to gain or take the extra material, because normally, like I told you guys before the game, it can be that like you took it, and then a moment later you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, Definitely have plenty of games like that. starting to see stuff now. I'm getting nervous. Like, it's just such a hard game. Does it first. I only looked at it as a second idea, but he does it first. First, not second. So my temptation is to take this knight, bishop takes, retreat my knight, allow the bishop to take my rook, recapture with my queen, and play with the 2 minor pieces versus a rook. If it went that way. I think it probably would, right? But he does have the extra pawn as well. But yeah, that's the way I want to play this. So it's one of those things where you're just making a commitment to like, which way do I want to play this game from here? And this to me is probably the way I want to play it. So and he goes that way. So I was expecting the rook to go, and he goes after a really strong kingside attack. It looks like. When they do it the other way, you get nervous that maybe you just missed something altogether, right? Wonder if I can just push this pawn twice, like push, rook, push. If I get the second push in. First. Is that all he needs? Is just the... Oh, he's got this check coming too, right? He's actually planning that kind of stuff as well. And if my rook is pinned to my queen, it's awfully strong. Maybe I should create a square for my king. Gives up the pawn though, right? Oh, that's just a blunder. I was just touching the screen talking about moves, and I had the pawn go, so that's I guess I'll resign. I just let him know that was a blunder. I can't chat with him anyway, but I'll oh my gosh. I'll write to my buddy here and just let him know that was I touched the screen. So I just let him know that that's what happened. Good game. So just so he knows the why on the resignation there. And then I'll wait for that next challenge. So good game though. He played really well. And really what I'm looking for from these games too is just a body of work to learn from. Like I said, I don't necessarily expect to win any of these games or do particularly great in them. I just want to be competitive, right? So Nice job. And I'll ask him too if he wants to take a brief break here between the games as well. Nice game though. I mean, he did put a lot of pressure on me and keep me guessing. So. Yeah, it was a good battle. It was a lot of fun. It's a fun game. It's a fun first game. All right, so I should get the black pieces in the next game, and should be fun. Really neat opportunity. I'm really happy he said he'd play me. He's usually really busy. He teaches a lot, so he's very active with students, and it's never easy for him to just play a lot of games and stuff. So, all right, cool, nice. So yeah, he'll send the challenge shortly here, and once I get that, we'll be back to playing, right? So. All right, what is all this? So let's go back to play live chess and just wait for that challenge to come in. But yeah, nice game. Nice game by a very strong player, like I said, guys. So not so bad. And I do appreciate people stopping by to watch this. I mean, I know definitely changing things on Twitch a little bit from what the norm is for our current chess community, but I am hoping that over time you guys grow to like this stream, the new version. So. And I will commit to, I've got these books, I will commit to reading them and finding more ideas and bringing those to you on stream. And, just kind of sharing more of my thought process during the games. So, should be a good thing for all of us, Pretty excited. Man, that was fun. I wish I hadn't made that mistake, though, right? Would have been interesting just to go back and move and just think about, what I might have been able to do or what I should have done here. Crazy. Yeah, I got an extra piece, but I'm only +1 because he's got the pawns, right? So, and you notice those 4 pawns, it's a 4-on-2, and one of them is really under pressure. So I think he's got the idea of maybe creating, passers, or at least mobile pawns for sure, and that would have been really hard to play against. I think I'm not sure I would have, as I look at, I'm not sure I would have survived very long anyway. He's considering this move, but he doesn't have to take. He can always just push past, let that pawn get very weak, close off my bishop with e4. So it wasn't clear that I'd even be able to win in that final position with the material, the +1, right? And some of you might be thinking like, oh, can't you take the pawn? And well, absolutely not, because remember the queen crossed the board. And I was having some trouble with this earlier. I was watching, gosh, whose stream was that? I was watching a friend, maybe it was Pop G's stream. I think it was Pop G last night, actually. Pap G. His stream, and there was a tactic twice, 2 tactics in the same game, and both tactics came from like pawn movement with queen swinging across. And both times I didn't see the tactic until it was played. I'm like, oh man, like that's great, and it got me realizing I've got a bit of a queen movement sideways blindness in my games, where I'm usually looking at her almost more like a bishop or something, or like this like up down diagonal movement, but not side to side so much. And we all have that. We have some kind of like chess blindness where like some piece moving some way is impacting our ability to really play well against it, I guess. So, but yeah, so if you're here, I really do appreciate having you here. Like I said, I'm not checking the chat or anything, but I'm extremely thankful for anybody that's number one. You have to be subbed to me right now. So if you're a sub and you're watching this content, thank you so much. So just waiting for that challenge to come in and refresh my browser, make sure I didn't miss it somehow. Not seeing it yet, so once it gets here, we will play, right? See if he's ready. Log in over here real quick and message him again real quick. So. And that's the other thing too. You guys saw in that game at a point when maybe I would have had a chance to be doing pretty good stuff. My opponent began to think of really creative counterplay and thinking about like what was important in the position, and it seems like a strong strategy. Get the rooks behind pawns, and then take your extra pawns and launch them down the board. Where maybe I have to get back a piece just to try to stop the pawns, and if I get back a piece for 1 pawn, then I'm actually really far behind because he had 2, right? So, all right, cool. Here's the next game, and I have the black pieces, of course. So, time to get focused, I guess. All right, so 1 C for English opening, and this would be preying on the fact that I don't really play against this that often. So he's probably using that at least a little bit here, knowing that it's probably not something I face too often. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 1 E6, I guess, against the C4 stuff. And then of course you could choose, like E4 or whatever. Pretty much any move he wants, I guess, because I didn't try to control E4 here. You'll notice too, a lot of my choices against him are going to be solid pawn structure based, and just trying to like have some kind of central pawn presence in general. I'm not sure why, but the Queen's Indian is hitting me as something I might want to play here. Knight to F6 and then B6. But I do see that the knight now helps out with E4, so maybe I should play D5, and I think I should play D5 and at least try to challenge the center a little bit. Not allowing white to get both C4 and E4 with no cost or challenge that. And generally, you'll notice too in my games, I'm selecting the king side pieces first and then the queen side ones. And that's usually based on the idea that I want to move the pieces that allow me to castle more quickly first. So I'm just going to go up here. And we'll see how this goes. Watching Rosen's stream, and Rosen was talking about the idea of like not putting the knight on c6, like saying that the pawn belongs on c5 and not c6, and that the mistake their opponent made was putting the pawn, or rather the knight in front of the pawn, right? So I'm not going to play the knight to c6, but I want to think about now how I want to develop. I like the idea of actually the pawn going to c6, and the knight maybe just kind of waiting a while to figure out where to go. So like one possible threat here is like pawn takes, and then knight to b5, hitting c7 and my bishop, right? So I'm considering even playing c6 right now. And again, partly based on the strength of my opponent and wanting to have a solid position against whatever my opponent plays. So yeah, c6 I guess is what I'm gonna venture into. Yeah, so my opponent, maybe after c6, greatly anticipating me castling kingside, and you can definitely feel how these bishops and the queen and the knights, it's all four minor pieces, right? All getting trained on the idea of attacking over here. And of course, you think about those things, you know, you're like, hey, like if white's gonna send the entire army at me, how am I gonna try to meet that threat, right? So I'm thinking moves like a6 and b5. Oops, can't really show that there. Hopefully I don't move a piece accidentally again, like the last game. But a6 and b5, and then be able to push past, but wanting to have some space over there. Have to be careful though. Can get caught with your rook undefended. I have no other pieces developed yet. Maybe knight to d7. Also a move I'd think about doing here. Knight to e6. You guys have seen me play so many games where I fiend cut out my bishop too. I'm used to having a bishop over here kind of fighting back on that diagonal. Yeah, I'm putting a knight out, I guess. No problem, just instantly upset, I don't know. So the only really bad piece here is this bishop, right? That's the... If I have like a nightmare piece, that's the one, right? Like, where's he gonna go? It's kind of nice too sometimes to put yourself in like the thought process of like, if I was a piece on the board that was my own, like my own piece, which piece on the board would I not want to be? And this bishop is just having nothing in the game, like no no movement at all possible, just chilling out is almost like another row of a pawn, like just like an extra pawn row sitting back there on c8, unable to even see like a future life for himself, as all of these pawns, every one of my pawns now, working against him, right? So that's why in so many openings, you'll see the bishop come out early on, you know, like f5, g4, maybe even rerouting to g6. But the idea is because you don't want to have, late in the game, a bishop that just hasn't found a square, you know? So that b5 idea that I was talking about is available. Kind of like that idea. It's like I'm trying to talk myself into moves. I like that idea. It seems playable. Yeah, I'm gonna play b5. In that last game, I wonder if I played bishop takes pawn against anybody else, or if I played differently there. Alright, I also want a castle. I wanted to do that for a while. Yeah, I'm just going to castle here. And I know e5 and other moves are possible to give this bishop some life, but bishop might find home here anyway, and I anticipate at some point these pawns, somebody will get captured, taken, so that should offer up some life opportunities for the bishop, and I didn't want to really push pawns in the center. For a while, I think I was joking with you guys about when I was trying to hit 2200 again, the idea of in each game that I played, only playing one pawn to the center, then castle. And there's some truth to that being a good idea, because when they're both there, it does allow the opportunity to maybe lose one, right? So, what? It's like I really want to push b4 here, but I don't think I need to, but I want to. And the part of the idea is to control e4. So like a b4 push. Knight goes out to a4 is my guess. If I put the pawn forward, the knight would go over here. And then it's eyeing these squares. And this pawn will come forward and give it a nice way to rest itself, I guess. But it would open up this square for my knight. So that's kind of like the... but it also leaves this bishop... Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna challenge this knight, send him over here, I think. And then play my knight in, is my thought here. Maybe he gets a passed pawn though, huh? Or tries to play the knight in to open this up, I'm not sure, but in I go. That's my my move, and I've also got, f5 behind it, so kind of a, I don't know, I feel like I'm doing a little bit too much of this. In general in chess, if your pawns begin to make W's, W pawns tend to have lots of weaknesses. You'll be weak everywhere at the bases, right? So I gotta think about that too as the game goes on. Whether my pawns are just reaching a point where it's like really hard to hold people and pawns and stuff. Yeah, I'll definitely have to reach out to him too for the coaching thing too, and just ask him some more questions, and maybe try a couple more sessions with him again. It was very helpful in the past. He gave me some really good questions and things to think about in my game, and just a very strong player. This music's so relaxing. Probably could put on slightly more of a beat mix for this, but I guess maybe it's good to have that peaceful feeling as you're playing a very strong player, right? So. It's about the point last game where I stopped. Remember on move 10 last game, I spent about 4 or 5 minutes thinking about one move. And now here again, about the same place, move 12, we see Seth doing that. Must be a couple of different plans he's fighting between with this this position. Choices of like maybe pushing c5 or capturing on d5 or developing a rook to the center or creating a square for the king, like a left square with like h3 or something. Although I don't think he's going to be pushed. I don't think the thought is even coming really to Seth's mind about pushing these yet. Maybe not enough pressure on any one thing yet to signify that anything should be getting moved around over there. Nice to know. So bishop b7 was my first thought when I saw this. Just trying to give more support to c6. And also give me the option to trade off this bad bishop for the knight if it wants to come into c6. So yeah, it's just helping to control this a little more, right? So. Not really tempted to capture here because it would have brought this pawn forward, which somehow felt like it was doing good things. Like, if you guys ever played Crazy House, you guys probably like that one a little bit, right? Crazy House. If you get a pawn on e5 and controlling f6 in Crazy House, there's all kinds of wild, fun maneuvers that happen with knights and such, right? And it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, do I really want the pawn in so close? And I'm either losing time or giving a bishop, right? So I could give the bishop, but then this is a really, really good bishop, whereas this is a pretty bad bishop. So this guy taking the knight seems kind of happy. But this guy taking the knight, well, that seems kind of sad. So, all right. So pushes my knight away. And a bit of a choice between these squares, only because I could consider coming back to f7. And what might be nice about that? Well, in addition to other things, I might actually be guarding my bishop. Because he's losing protection right now. This knight moving. So if I go here, I'd actually be able to come back here and guard the bishop. And we could see, like, after like knight into c6, bishop takes, queen takes, I might want to be able to support that bishop very quickly and not have to move my queen and be able to have like maybe an eviction move later on to get the queen out of there, possibly. But yeah, so I think I'm actually going to go here instead. And also, I've talked before with you guys about the idea of two knights. If two knights are controlling the same squares, like, I don't like to trade for them. You know what I mean? It's like somehow they're fighting against each other's ideas. So I feel like somehow having this knight here, it might be a little bit more annoying for white. And, you know, it still has some forward ideas too, possibly. You know, h3 seems kind of crazy right now, but it does have the h3 square, or capturing on f3, or maybe even coming back to e4 if f4, you know, so, and somehow not, like I said, occupying where this knight might want to go, so. And just like the last game, very similar strategy by me. Try to have a very solid structure, and then hope by playing solid structures that those solid structures give me the opportunity to go into an endgame, the opportunity to try to win the game, but knowing that you know, this is a very, oh shoot, I gave a fork, didn't I? I see it now. So maybe the knight going to the other square is actually better. I didn't consider that. Knight going to this square would guard this knight, and then stop knight to b6, which will fork my queen and rook. Or sorry, yeah, queen and rook. Only good thing about that is my pieces are actually pretty active on the king side, and I do have both bishops still, so I would lose the exchange, but I would have active pieces behind it, which is always kind of nice. And I've talked before on stream about that too, how if your pieces are active, that can be a good thing. Yeah, so he's going to go after that, and doesn't do it immediately though. Wants to see this knight go somewhere else first. Understand that knight is probably going to be part of my counterplay if there is any, right? So, all right. Yeah, this is very similar to a game I played against Chen years ago. It's the same thing that happened years ago too. I'm still making the same mistake. You push a pawn with the idea of putting a knight to the edge of the board, where knights tend to be a little bit less strong, right? But then because of a weakness on, it was actually a b3 square, and I was white when it happened last time. Because of a weakness on a square on the queen side that I wasn't thinking about, the knight actually gets really good access to something, and what appears to be a protected square isn't once the other piece gets kicked away. So, I guess I'll go here. You know, having this bishop versus no bishop would be better than having it, you know, with that bishop still on the board, so. But yeah, that's the move I expected, of course. And then this is just a time thing. So obviously bishop capture seems like a good idea, but I need that bishop to get active on the king side somehow as well. I'm really far away from having a lot of counterplay, it feels like, but plan for a little bit longer. But out of respect to my opponent, I will resign soon. I don't expect to beat an FM down in exchange with my pawns working against my bishop so much. You know, it's maybe a little bit different and more wide open position, and he's also still got the bishops to fight against the bishops too. So. Just a bit of a mistake there. A thought process about knights not controlling the same square, and I didn't look for my opponent's threats. So in terms of an area to improve for this game, the area would be, don't just think about your own ideas and where your own pieces can go, but also consider what your opponent's threatening. And obviously, as soon as I made the move, I'm like, oh yeah, knight takes knight. You know, if you're able to see the threat, then you can obviously try to work against it as well if you take the time to do so. But overall, pretty fun games tonight. And I didn't learn as much from this one because I didn't really ever get going, right? Just a little bit more of a one-sided game. Seth, like I said, can play both aggressively or positional, and here just took what I gave him, right? And so yes, maybe if I see this position again, I would actually maybe capture the knight and then play bishop e7, take and go back to e7, and just have the ability to, or maybe bishop takes. I don't know. Maybe this is something I should look at with the computer, get some ideas of how to play this. It's definitely something I could see happening a lot more. But I'm going to go ahead and resign. Yeah, good game, buddy. That's nice. Good game. Very, very strong player, like I said. So you can't feel bad about those. You just got to accept them and then move on, you know. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. We'll see you guys next time, which should be in about 10 to 20 minutes. I'll get this thing processing to YouTube, and we'll see you in a little bit, guys. Bye for now. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the games.